in progress.
According to the
Sergeant
computer all set.
Sergeant Sadowski, we are not live streaming yet.
We got the Legistar going, John.
Copy.
So at this time, will sergeants please start their recordings?
According to the computer all set.
Cloud recording is up.
Thank you, and good morning, and welcome to today's remote New York City Council hearing of the Committee on Finance. At this time, would all council members and staff please turn on their video? To minimize disruption, please place electronic devices on vibrate or silent mode. If you wish to submit testimony, you may do so at testimony@council.nyc.gov. Once again, that is testimony@council.nyc.gov. Thank you for your cooperation. We are ready to begin.
Thank you, Sergeant. Good morning and welcome to today's Finance Committee meeting. I'm Councilmember Justin Brannan and I am privileged to be the chair of the Finance Committee. Today, the committee will be holding a public hearing on intro number 103, which would authorize an increase in the amount to be expended annually in the Sutphin Boulevard Business Improvement District, or BID. It would extend the boundaries of the BID and rename it the Downtown Jamaica BID. It would change the method of district charge assessment. It would increase the maximum total amount to be expended for improvements and dissolve the boundaries of the existing 165th Street Mall and Jamaica Center Mall special assessment districts. Today's hearing was noticed by resolution number 79, which we adopted on March 24th. We've since converted this to a hybrid hearing, and so I and my colleagues are joining today by Zoom. However, our committee counsel is participating from chambers in case any member of the public shows up to give testimony at the location originally noticed on the resolution. So I want to also acknowledge my colleagues that have joined us today, starting, of course, with Speaker Adams, Council Members Powers, Brewer, Ayala, Velasquez, Farias, Moya, Hudson, Osei, Barron, Lewis, Kagan, Hanks, and Carr. And we've also been joined by Council Members Williams and Gennaro, who I will invite to give remarks in a little while. So we'll hear shortly from any witnesses who wish to testify. Once we've heard any testimony, we'll then adjourn the hearing for at least 30 days to allow any property owner within the proposed extended area to file an objection to the bid extension with the city clerk. In the absence of objections filed, either by a majority of all the impacted property owners or by the property owners owning a majority of the assessed value of the property within the proposed extended district, the committee and the full council may adopt the legislation extending the bid. In order to do so, the committee and the full council must be prepared to answer the following 4 questions in the affirmative for the bid. Question number 1, were all notices of hearing for all hearings required to be held, published, and mailed as so required? Number 2, does all the real property within the district's boundaries benefit from the expansion of the district, except as otherwise provided by the law? 3, is all real property benefited by the district included within the district? And finally, is the expansion of the district in the best interests of the public? If the committee and the full council find in the affirmative on these 4 questions and the number of objections required to prevent the extension of the bid are not filed, then the legislation of the new boundaries and the new bid name can be adopted. Additionally, the committee and the full council must determine that it is in the public interest to authorize an increase in the maximum annual expenditure amount, that the relevant tax and debt limits will not be exceeded, and that the notice of the increased proposed expenditure amount was properly published. Additional information regarding this bid item can be found in the committee report, which was prepared by the Council Finance Division team, the report prepared by the City Planning Commission, and the bid's proposed district plan. Council members Williams and Gennaro, who represent this area, are supportive of this bid item. Speaker Adams is also a longtime supporter of this bid action, dating back to her pre-council service as co-chair of the Jamaica Now Leadership Council, which first advanced the idea of combining these three bids into one, unified as whole. So it's great to finally, hopefully, see that through. Before we proceed with testimony from the administration and the small business services, I would like to give each of these members an opportunity to give remarks. We'll first hear from Speaker Adams, followed by Council members Williams, and then Council member Gennaro. Speaker Adams.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good morning. I'm off camera, but I am the City Council Speaker, Adrienne Adams, representing District 28 Queens, which includes the neighborhoods of Jamaica, Richmond Hill, Rochdale Village, and South Ozone Park. Thank you again, Chair Brannon and members of the Finance Committee for hosting today's hearing on Intro 103. It's a proposal to create a unified downtown Jamaica Business Improvement District. As the chair said, prior to being elected to the New York City Council, one of the many ways I served my community was by co-chairing the Jamaica Now Leadership Council, a diverse group of community stakeholders that provided oversight of the revitalization of downtown Jamaica. Our action plan steered more than $150 million in funding for critical improvements to the area, and we also proposed the idea of bringing the three separate bids in Jamaica into one unified organization. When the city conducted a community district needs assessment in 2019, it also confirmed our findings that a single bid representing downtown Jamaica would strengthen this commercial area. 3 years later, we're seeing this proposal come to fruition. There are many benefits to creating a unified downtown Jamaica bid. Our downtown area will have a singular brand and voice, which will facilitate more opportunities for investments and large-scale transformative projects. It will reduce any overlap in responsibilities among the current bids and will more strategically position Jamaica to meet the ever-growing needs and challenges of our small businesses, residents, and our visitors. A unified bid will also mean consistent events, programming, and services to ensure that downtown Jamaica is safe, clean, and thriving. It will allow community stakeholders like elected officials and community boards provide greater input on long-term concerns or issues. I fully support Intro 103 to unify our bids and create a cohesive, effective entity to promote the downtown Jamaica core. I'm excited about the future of this area that I've called home for so long and the potential for positive change that this proposal will bring. Thank you again, Chair Brannon and members of the Council's Finance Committee for hearing my testimony. I'm hopeful that together we will move this unification process forward. And I just want to note that I see on this call longtime partners of mine in the community. I see Laurel Brown. Good morning, Ms. Brown. I see our CEO of ABNY, Melva Miller, who's been in the trenches in Southeast Queens and this downtown Jamaica core and the Jamaica Now Leadership Council with me for years. And I also see former council member Donique Miller also in the trenches in Jamaica, all for the interest of building our downtown Jamaica core. So once again, thank you all so much. And I'm looking forward to great things out of this bid consolidations. Thank you, Chair, for the time.
Thank you, Speaker. Before we hear remarks from Councilmember Williams and Gennaro, I just want to acknowledge we've also been joined by our colleagues, Council members Yeager, Sanchez, and Barron. Councilmember Williams, do you have remarks?
Good morning, everybody. As the council member of District 27, the revitalization of downtown Jamaica is incredibly important to my constituents. As such, I am glad to be here today in support of the unification of the Suffin Boulevard bid, Jamaica Center SAD, and the 165th Street Mall SAD. The merging of these three bids will be incredibly beneficial to all parties involved. Some of the benefits include cost efficiency. Our bids will be able to combine their resources and allow for more specialized approach with their staff. It will also reduce some administrative costs, such as rent and insurance. It will also allow the bids to qualify for larger amounts of funding. It will grant the bids an opportunity to tackle larger projects and open the door to grant opportunities that weren't afforded in the past. With this newer, larger scale bid, it will be much easier for the board to be an advocate for businesses. Additionally, the unification will ensure that all businesses are being adequately represented through the bid, as SADs do not have residential representation like a bid does. While this predates my tenure, and I'm excited to also have former Councilmember Miller on this call, I am glad and humbled to carry this effort forward after years of stakeholder discussion on this topic, as mentioned by Speaker Adams. The pandemic has decimated our commercial districts, and if the unification means our businesses will be paying less but receiving more services, then this is a no-brainer. I am in full support, and I look forward to working with the bid on future projects. Thank you so much, Chair Brannan and Speaker Adams, for your leadership and making sure that this very important measure comes to fruition.
Thank you, Councilmember Williams. Now we will hear from Councilmember Gennaro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Councilmember Williams. Thank you, former Councilmember Miller, for being so engaged in this process. I have a long history with downtown Jamaica. I wish to be associated with the remarks of the Speaker and with Councilmember Williams. I think the Speaker really said the right words with regard to making this cohesive and effective. This is what has been needed. This is what the Speaker saw, years ago, in trying to make this coalesce. I'd also like to thank my own Chief of Staff, Henry Yam, for putting so many hours into this. I'm very strongly supportive of this for all of the reasons that have been mentioned by the Speaker and by Councilmember Williams. I'm very grateful that this is being brought forward, and I urge all the members of the Finance Committee to give it full support. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Gennaro. We'll now hear testimony from SBS on the Jamaica bid consolidation. We're joined by the Deputy Commissioner for Neighborhood Development, Blaise Backer, as well as the Director for the New York City Business Improvement District Program, Roxanne Early, and Senior Policy Advisor, Zach Owens. Before SBS begins, I'm going to turn it back over to our committee counsel to swear in the witnesses.
Thank you. So I'm going to give the affirmation one time and then ask each of you to please so affirm. Do you affirm that your testimony will be truthful to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief? Mr. Backer?
I do.
Ms. Early?
I do.
And Mr. Owens?
I do.
Thank you. Deputy Commissioner Backer, you may begin when ready.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Brannan and members of the Finance Committee. I'm Michael Blaise Backer, Deputy Commissioner of Neighborhood Development at the Department of Small Business Services. I'm joined by our bid program director, Roxanne Early, and our senior policy advisor, Zach Owens. Today, I'm pleased to testify before you in support of the proposed Downtown Jamaica Business Improvement District. The Downtown Jamaica bid is, in function, the merging of three separate but adjacent bids into a single, better-resourced organization by way of extending the Sutphin Boulevard bid and dissolving the Jamaica Center and 165th Street Mall Special Assessment Districts. SBS is dedicated to investing in neighborhoods and strengthening commercial corridors through the support and establishment of community-based economic development organizations like BIDS. We are pleased to present this project for the Council's consideration today, as we believe it represents an important moment in helping downtown Jamaica reach its full potential as a vibrant destination commercial district for New York City and is sorely needed to accelerate its post-pandemic revival. This project is the culmination of almost 7 years of community effort, outreach, and stakeholder engagement, and fulfills the final outstanding commitment from the Jamaica Now Action Plan issued in 2015. The unification of the bids was also a key opportunity identified in the Downtown Jamaica Commercial District Needs Assessment completed in 2019 that involved feedback from over 300 merchants and residents. The pandemic only further demonstrated the need for a centralized, high-capacity organization that could advocate on behalf of the downtown area and provide critical business support services to district merchants. A single bid has many benefits for downtown Jamaica. This organization will have increased staff capacity and resources to provide needed programs and services such as retail attraction, district beautification, and public space programming, all of which will support small businesses and create jobs. The single bid can more effectively market the downtown business community with a unified identity, elevating public awareness of the district locally and regionally as a place for visitors to shop, dine, and stay. Further, with the operational and cost efficiencies that come from elimination of duplicative services, less money will be spent on administrative expenses, more would be reinvested directly into programs and services, and coordination with city agencies like NYPD, DOT, and sanitation will be simplified and streamlined. The proposed Downtown Jamaica bid will utilize a formula that will assess properties at 50% of their linear frontage and 50% of their assessed value, thereby creating a more equitable formula across the entire district. The average property owner and business will save money, and the maximum, minimum, median, and average annual bill for all properties will decrease as well. The average median assessment will decrease 9%, giving money back to property owners and businesses at a time they need it most. The Downtown Jamaica bid will have a first-year annual budget of $1.3 million and a maximum assessment cap of $1.5 million. SBS has been working with the bids and area stakeholders to plan for and realize this merger for several years. No bid board has opposed the unification effort. While the 165th Mall SAD has a non-compliant board due to the insufficient size of the district, an issue which will be addressed by unification, both Sutphin and Jamaica Center have voted to approve unification. As required by law, SBS coordinated the mailing of a summary of the City Council resolution no less than 10 days and no more than 30 days before today's hearing to property owners and tenants of the proposed district. Furthermore, SBS arranged for the publication of a copy of the summary of the resolution at least once in the city record. I would like to acknowledge and thank the former Queensborough President Melinda Katz and former Deputy Borough President Melvin Miller, current Borough President Donovan Richards, Speaker Adrian Adams, former Councilmember Idanique Miller, and current council members Natasha Williams and Jen Gennaro for their support of the Downtown Jamaica bid formation effort, as well as the members of the Sutphin Boulevard bid, Jamaica Center SAD, and the 165th Mall SAD for their role in this process and participation in the countless merger discussions over the years. Finally, we would not be here today without the tireless work of both current and former SBS staff from my team, who have advised the bid's boards and staff and our elected officials throughout this almost 7-year effort. I particularly like to shout out my colleagues Zach Owens and Roxanne Early, who are both here with me today for their exceptional service to SBS and the Downtown Jamaica community. We look forward to working with the unified Downtown Jamaica bid and enhancing a more vibrant and thriving Jamaica Queens. This time, happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. I also want to acknowledge we've been joined by Councilmember Brooks Powers. I want to see if any of my colleagues have questions for SBS. Council, do you see any?
I do not see any hands.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your testimony. Council?
Okay, I'm now going to call upon various members of the public who have joined us today, starting with former council member Miller.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hang on, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I think we have some technical difficulties with the former member, and we'll have to circle back. Can I move on at this time to Jennifer Ferroli?
Starting time.
We can't hear you. You're unmuted, but your mic is not picking up its sound. You may need to change your audio settings. Oh. Okay, I think we'll maybe also circle back to you. Next, I would welcome testimony from Aaron Schwartz.
Starting time. Good morning. My name is Aaron Schwartz. I've been a property owner in downtown Jamaica for over 30 years. For over 25 years, I've been on the executive board of both the Jamaica Center Bid and the 165th Street Mall Improvement Association. I'm currently the president of the 165th Street Bid, as we call it, and will be speaking as its representative. I'm appearing here today to support the proposal for the unification of the 3 downtown Jamaica bids. The 165th Street bid is only 1 block long and is one of the smallest bids in New York City. Our executive director, who's been with us for over 20 years, does an excellent job maintaining the bid and running various programs and services. However, we find it very frustrating when numerous quality of life issues are not being addressed and are certainly not being resolved. Illegal street vendors and the numerous vehicles on the street, considering this is a pedestrian block, make the street uninviting and deters shoppers and keeps foot traffic away. The merchants on the street are negatively affected by these issues, and the number of vacancies on the block are greatly increasing. National retailers that have an interest in opening up stores in the areas do not even want to consider the block because of the poor quality of life issues. Our bid cannot combat these issues because we cannot get the cooperation of government offices, city-run agencies, and local nonprofits. If our bid was part of a larger, louder, and stronger body, we know that things would move a lot faster and smoother. We simply do not have the voice and the resources to mitigate these challenges. Considering we're only 1 block long, our liability premium has been staggering at last year's premium of over $44,000 and is due to increase this year. Our board members consist of 5 property owners, and filling board positions that meet bid board requirements can sometimes be challenging. With the unification of the bids, the 165th Street bid, as well as the Jamaica Center bid, would be able to maximize cost efficiencies, generate an equitable budget, and command the support needed to keep the downtown Jamaica area attractive and inviting. A larger organization will have the heft to advocate for more city resources and be able to take an ambitious project that benefit all of Jamaica. We've been talking about this project for years, but now is time to act. And I hope that the council supports this proposal. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. Let's attempt again, Ms. Furley.
Starting time.
Okay, can you hear me now? Yes, great. Okay, thank you to the chair and the finance committee. My name is Jennifer Furioli. I'm the current executive director of the Jamaica Center bid, and I am reading Michael Hirschhorn's testimony, who regrettably couldn't be here today. My name is Michael Hirschhorn, and I am a longstanding property owner in the heart of Jamaica Avenue. My building is 16121 Jamaica Avenue, which has been home to 2 popular and family-friendly sit-down restaurants. I have served as the president of the board of the Jamaica Center bid for nearly a dozen years, and am proud of our organization's efforts to remove what is likely over 500,000 bags of litter from the corridor and thousands of incidents of graffiti during my tenure. We've served as a longstanding advocate for businesses and a partner to the city in creating a welcoming commercial corridor. We want to nurture a thriving downtown, and by partnering with our peers on Sutphin and 165th Street, I believe we can. In addition to serving as the president of the Jamaica Center bid, I am a longstanding board member of 5 additional bids: the 34th Street Partnership in Midtown, 125th Street bid in Harlem, the Hub 3rd Avenue bid, and the Fordham Road bid, both in the Bronx, and the Fulton Street Mall, which is managed by the Downtown Brooklyn Partnership. Given my participation on other bid boards, I see firsthand how our organization is severely limited in what it can accomplish due to escalating administrative expenses and how we could benefit if we all operated under a single organization. As my executive director, Jennifer Ferrioli, has put it, we are constantly trying to quell a tsunami of issues with a bare bones staff and a duct tape budget. This year, 25 to 30% of our operating budget is allocated to liability insurance expenses, including deductibles alone. In FY22, we expect to pay $222,905 for the policy and another $38,000 for deductibles, or more depending on legal outcomes. For context, the Downtown Alliance in Lower Manhattan, which has a $20 million budget, the largest in the country, only pays $113,000 for insurance a year. This issue is unsustainable for Jamaica Center. This is why the past summer, the board approved a resolution to begin dissolution if there is no change to the status quo. That means no more sanitation, graffiti removal, marketing, or programming on Jamaica Avenue. Much of the liability cost is related to decorative pavers on Jamaica Avenue. By unifying under Suffin's legal structure, as is proposed, the liability would be eliminated, and the new bid would not have any legal exposure that Jamaica Center now contends with. We could save even more money by eventually combining office space and achieving economies of scale on significant contracts, such as sanitation. Just imagine what we could do with
Thank you for your testimony, and if there's...
She could finish. I don't know how much more she's got, but I think we have time. You could finish it.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay, I needed to be unmuted. Okay, just one more line. I am certain that working alongside our partner property owners and small businesses on Sutphin Boulevard and 165th Street, we would easily come to shared conclusions on how we could work together to better enhance our district. The three bids have many of the same problems, but we share many of the same opportunities as well. That is why I support unification and believe that the rest should support this as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Former council member Miller, we will try you again. See if this works.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Council Member Mr. Chair Brennan. So good to see and hear from you this morning, as well as everyone else, Madam Speaker and colleagues, former colleagues. Greetings, Chair Brennan and members of Finance Committee. I'm Idanique Miller, past council member for the 27th Council District that encompasses downtown Jamaica. And it is my honor to come before the council and this committee today. I'm here to testify in support of unification of the three Jamaica bids, technically an extension of Sufton Boulevard bid to take in the areas which encompass the Jamaica 165th Street Central Mall Assessment District as well. This proposal was a culmination of 8 years of work between SBS, Jamaica Now, elected officials, business, and community members. It's also the next step in the renaissance of downtown Jamaica. The unification of Jamaica bid will complement the work we've already begun, including the development of thousands of units of affordable housing, investing millions in York College and New Jamaica Depot, and pushing forward with the enclosed removal of the nearby waste transfer stations. Decades ago, shoppers from all over the city flocked to downtown Jamaica to do their shopping. We had such retailers, Gertz Plaza, Mall, Mays, Macy's, and so forth. It's in the time since then, we've been inundated with discount businesses, many of which fail to reflect the investment in the community. Their merchandise spills onto the streets over the broken, uneven sidewalks, sanitation, and public safety concerns remain prevalent. Therefore, it is no surprise that many of our local residents choose to take their business elsewhere, oftentimes to nearby Long Island, which not only does not which not only takes away revenue from local businesses in the local community, it takes away tax dollars. And we receive nothing in return for spending our money outside of the city boundaries. However, we have a chance to turn this situation around. By creating one unified and therefore more efficient Jamaica bid, we'll be able to streamline services and reinvest in savings to create a better commercial corridor. This includes hiring additional staff for sanitation and grant writing, allocating bid board seats for community boards, representing and developing a unified business, and branding strategically to advocate for the Jamaica area. What we know is that status quo is not working. The current Sufton Boulevard bid, 165th Street entities have been out of compliance with the bid laws for years. As such, their boards are unable to vote on this matter that is before us today. Let alone properly serve the boundaries, meanwhile, they're responsible for. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Center bid, by far the largest of the three, is drowning under the archaic 1970s insurance obligations and financial turmoil. I thank you all for allowing me to testify here today, Chair Brennan, certainly Speaker Adams for the work that she has done, Jim Gennaro, and especially Councilmember Williams for the work that she is doing currently to spearhead this proposal moving forward. So, and the members of Community Board 12 as well. I trust that the committee and the council will see the importance of supporting this proposal, and more important, equally important, the dangers of inaction. Thank you for the consideration. I urge you all to vote in favor of Intro 103. Thank you all.
Thank you, Councilmember. See you again.
Thank you. Can we now hear from Melva Miller?
Starting time.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity to testify today. My name is Melva Miller, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Association for a Better New York, affectionately known as ABNY. But more importantly, I'm the founding executive director of the Sutphin Boulevard Bid and the co-creator of the Jamaica Now Action Plan and the technical advisor to the Jamaica Now Leadership Council. I've spent nearly 20 years working to make downtown Jamaica a vibrant, economically inclusive, and beautiful downtown for those who live, work, and visit the area. Throughout my career, I've seen commercial districts all across the city with less access to public transportation, less cultural and shopping offerings, less public and civic institutions achieve better quality job and small business support, better commercial growth and economic development, and improve livability through quality of life enhancements, all due to a well-organized, well-resourced, on-the-ground organization. Such results could be attained by an organization that represents all of downtown Jamaica. A well-resourced organization would achieve, like many spoke about today, economies of scale with infrastructure, technology, staffing, all to ensure the efficacy and allow the organization to devote more of its resources directly to neighborhood improvement. I, at one time, underestimated the benefits of a unified, larger structure when I was the director of the Sutphin Boulevard Bid, but I found that it was difficult for my very small bid to partner with nearby institutions and anchors with adequate influence and capitalize on synergies and like-minded missions to strengthen the downtown area. Partnering presents opportunities to streamline and co-promote business support services to ensure that all existing and new downtown businesses are given an opportunity to prosper, and which we need desperately. In addition, neighborhood branding authentic to downtown Jamaica is desperately needed. Economic development practitioners know that to attract visitors, both globally, nationally, and locally, and potential businesses, you must clearly articulate a neighborhood brand. This is difficult to do when downtown Jamaica is divided into different districts with little coordination, insufficient marketing support, and inconsistent branding. By consolidating marketing efforts under a single brand, it would be easier to draw attention to the community's unique assets and create positive imagery for visitors and potential businesses. Consolidation is a time-intensive endeavor, and it depends on a consistent follow-up and relationship building. That is why these efforts must be adequately staffed and managed in order to succeed. A larger bid would have the resources to hire staff solely focused on improving the tenant mix of the downtown core, which we desperately need, to former council member Miller's point. And of course, for all business, thank you.
Yeah, let Melva can finish.
Thank you. Just a couple of more points. So as we think about the revitalization of the city, and we want to make sure that people return to our commercial core, clean and safe environments are essential, right? While existing bids do a commendable job at trying to address grime and crime, these issues are no match for a resource-strapped organization. So we must desperately need a larger organization to mitigate these quality of life issues. Although the downtown Jamaica has made tremendous progress in recent years, there's still much work to do. Now is the time to unify the three bids under the downtown Jamaica umbrella, really to help position the community that I love, downtown Jamaica, be a robust economic environment post-COVID. The residents of Jamaica deserve better, a better downtown, a better shopping experience, and I encourage the City Council to support this unification because I truly believe that the whole is greater than some of the parts. Thank you so much for this consideration, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Melva.
See no questions. Next, we will hear from Elena Barcenas.
Starting time.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Elena Barcenas. I am the owner of New York City's first and oldest Salvadorian restaurant, Rincón Salvadoreño, located at the junction of 149th Street and Jamaica Avenue. I am also a board member at the Jamaica Center Bid. I am here today to express my support of the unification of the three business improvement districts in downtown Jamaica. As a business owner, I can attest that the quality of life issues affecting downtown, homelessness, drug use, theft, harassment of employees and shoppers is shared along Sutton Boulevard, just a few blocks from my business. And it would make logistical sense to have one organization working to address these issues rather than three separate organizations. I can also attest that the positive opportunities for Jamaica, the rising apartment buildings on the periphery of our downtown, the growing transit opportunities, and the no-income retail are items that will benefit all businesses and communities. Stakeholders along Sutton Boulevard, Jamaica Avenue. Archer Avenue, 165th Street, in the general trade area known as downtown Jamaica. The best results will come only if we stakeholders work together and
Elena, you just reconnected. Yeah, you gotta unmute yourself. You're good now.
Okay, so to have three separate streets competing to benefit from these changes. When we can compete as a stronger whole in an entire downtown, I don't see my neighboring businesses on 165th Street or Sutton Boulevard as my competition. I see the malls or other neighborhoods or meal delivery services as my competition. I wish to work with my neighboring businesses to encourage a loyalty and love for downtown Jamaica from its residents, visitors, and daytime employees. It has been a rough couple of years for businesses. In my own business, I've identified efficiencies and partnerships to ensure my survival. It seems wise for these three bids to do the same by joining forces. I am in support of the unification of the three downtown businesses improvement districts and encourage the city councils to strongly consider this petition. Thank you all for your consideration, and I really hope that you all take consideration in everything that has been said, because it is really tough out there, especially for small businesses like myself. And I've been in the community for 42 years, and I wish to stay there longer. So I thank you all for your consideration again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Ms. Sari Kolka.
Starting time.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sari Kolka, and thank you for allowing me to join you today to express my support for the consolidation of the three business improvement districts in downtown Jamaica. My family is a long-standing owner of commercial properties in the western end of Jamaica Center Bid on the blocks close to Sutphin Boulevard. We're not just property owners, though. We're locals, too. My husband grew up in Jamaica, and his family owned and operated Culca's Fine Baking for several decades on Jamaica Avenue. Jamaica is the Culca family's hometown, and we want to see the best for it. Today, our family-owned company, KJL Property Management, manages properties from Sutphin Boulevard to 150th Street on Jamaica Avenue and other properties in the surrounding area. We take great pride in leasing our properties on Jamaica Avenue to diverse and responsible small business tenants, ranging from restaurants to local healthcare providers, and taking good care of our properties. We know from all these years of living, working, and investing in Jamaica that the commercial corridors of Sutphin Boulevard, Jamaica Avenue, and 165th Street are economically, socially, and commercially linked. For example, our Jamaica Avenue restaurant tenants rely on the heavy daytime foot traffic generated from the courthouse and legal offices on Sutphin, and that both corridors stand to benefit from the new apartments and hotels rising on Sutphin and Archer. Recently, we've seen businesses on 165th Street, Sutphin Boulevard, and the western end of Jamaica suffering from similar quality of life issues, such as merchant harassment or drug use and sales. In order for our community to thrive socially and economically, it makes sense to market our collective businesses under the singular banner of Downtown Jamaica to focus on and solve an issue rather than creating conflicting or competing messaging and the programming between the three bids. These corridors share both frustrating problems, but also magnificent opportunities that could be better addressed as one entity with cost savings for all. For that reason, I'm in support of the unification, and I believe it is something that we need to do now. Thank you.
Thank you. I see that we have a hand up from Councilmember Sanchez, if she is available to give comments or questions.
Yes, well, thank you. I just wanted to pop in and have a quick note and say, congratulations to being at this point, to all of the stakeholders involved. I see so many familiar faces. After Speaker Adrian Adams, I was the next co-chair of the Jamaica Now Leadership Council, and this is something we worked really hard on. So just congratulations to everyone, and I urge my colleagues also to support this consolidation along with, the local members and the speaker. So, and special shout outs, I have to, for Melvin Miller, who has really worked so hard on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. We have testimony next from Ms. Laurel Brown.
Starting time.
Hello all, Laurel Brown. I am a longtime economic development executive and downtown Jamaica advocate. Here to in favor of the proposal to consolidate the bids. And I guess the question really at hand is, how many administrative entities does it take to clean up the streets of downtown Jamaica? Or even more to the point, which is more effective, having three organizations, for simplicity's sake, having three organizations managing one guy or gal cleaning the streets, or having one entity managing three people spread out across the streets? My answer, having sat in a number of different seats relevant to this question, is that 1 to 3 model, where you have less admin and more programming, is significantly more effective than the alternative. And of course, you can substitute cleaning up the streets for any of the other programmatic priorities that came through the Jamaica Now action plan. But generally speaking, that 1 to 3 is the better sweet spot that you want to hit. And so I sat in a number of relevant seats that led me to this conclusion. I was a finance and real estate development attorney on Wall Street, then director of operations and executive director of the Jamaica Center Bid for 4 years. After then, and that was at the time where we had the heavy 3-to-1 model, then went on to the Downtown Brooklyn Partnership as the executive vice president for another 4 years. And that was the more efficient 1 to 3 model. And I led a lot of the work to consolidate that organization. Then went back to Downtown Jamaica because I love it so much. And I was the COO of the Greater Jamaica Development Corporation for 2 years, and now do economic development work internationally for a big tech company. And I also led the consultancy and feasibility study around the consolidation. So it's not just even in theory that I'm saying this. When I was executive director of the Jamaica Center bid, I would look at my brother and sister districts in Manhattan with the fancy parades and ball drops and new public spaces and think, well, we're a major New York City downtown, and we should have access to those same type of things as well. And it wasn't that we were lacking for vision, we were just lacking for budget. So I actually at that time worked with the two other bid directors, and we did away with our separate sanitation contracts and our separate marketing contracts, leveraged economies of scale, and entered into one single contract. And the result was we had noticeably cleaner streets because we were able to hire more staff. The results were that we had more investment interest in downtown Jamaica because we were able to hire a shared marketing and retail attraction consultant. And this stuff is in the papers. The results were we had safer streets because we were able to pilot a public safety officer with these saved funds. And we actually won a neighborhood leadership award at the time because we were able to punch weight well beyond our budget, having done this model. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I see no other members of the public present to give testimony. If we have skipped over you, please use the Zoom raise hand function. Seeing none, I turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you, Council. Thank everyone for their testimony today. There's no other questions, or Council, there's no one else testifying from the public?
No one else.
Okay. Okay, with that, I will adjourn this hearing. Thank you so much.